So these are 5 books that I recommend that every young person read, but this is not the only 5 books. I'll be honest with you, I could come up with another 40 must-reads. The first one, Moby Dick. I'm serious when I say every young person should read this book. There are a lot of themes running through it, but the theme I want to talk about is having too small a purpose in life. Now, Ahab would have said his goal is tremendous because he was chasing a tremendous white whale. But I'm here to tell you that was a very small goal. It's all about revenge. Do not be careless about the goals you pursue in life. They are all important. Pick a big goal. Pick a goal that helps people. Don't be like Ahab. Your life will end up in ruin. The next book is Jack London's Call of the Wild. I was a real little kid when I read this, but I loved it. Talk about action and adventure. This story is full of it. It's a different perspective than most books because it's through the eyes of a dog who's shanghaied and brought to the frozen tundra of the Yukon. Not to give too much away, but I just want to say he started out as poor little rich dog and ends up as a survivor in the wild. So this book is all about adapting to your environment or dying. It's all about his rise to leadership, which everyone should aspire to in their own degree. And you must read this book. Book number 3 is a twofer. I choose the right to call it a twofer. It's Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, 2 young, rebellious kids living out a fantasy life, rebelling against the norms of the day. After all, this is a time of slavery in America. I'm going to warn all of you, do not read some politically correct version that cleans up all the language. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is real Americana. It's an important book historically. It's an important book from a standpoint of your own personal growth. These 2 boys are giants of American fictional history. There's a few scenes out of the book that are indelibly embedded in my mind. Without giving too much away, you'll figure it out rather soon when you read the book. But Tom loves Becky. Now, how would a 10, 11, or 12-year-old boy express that love? Why, he'd go to her house and do cartwheels. And that's what he does. But Tom is a great young boy. And when they're in trouble, it's Tom that leads them out of the trouble. With Huckleberry Finn, we have again a young boy who's rebelling against social norms. He's taking off with a slave. It's an adventure up the Mississippi River with a lot of important themes in there. I want you to read this book. It's at a time of history when America was very, very different. Go with it. Go with it. You will learn a lot from these 2 young boys. So the next book might be a surprise to you. It's The Power of Positive Thinking. My buddy Fernando said, Glenn, have you read The Power of Positive Thinking? I said, what's that? He said, you've got to read this book. Fernando's right about just about everything. So I went to the store, I bought that book, and it was shocking in a great way. I realized rather quickly there's only 2 ways to think. Maybe 3, you could say. You can think positive, you can think negative, or you can think flatline. Don't be flatline or negative. Choose to think positive. Everything that happens in life has a purpose behind it, and Norman Vincent Peale will help you discover that. He'll also help you to get through the tough times in life, and you can do it with a positive attitude, and you cannot do it with a negative attitude. So choose to look up. Throughout this book, it's a powerfully themed book that you look to God for your help. That is so important. When you have God as an anchor, there's no problem you cannot solve. The 5th book is called The Hiding Place. It is a biography of the life of Corrie ten Boom during the time of Germany's Holocaust. She is not a German. I believe she's Dutch. She decided, along with her family, her father and her sister, that self wasn't important, others were. And as you know, back at that time, the Jews were being hunted down. And Corrie and her father and her sister decided to do something about it. And they hid Jews. And they did a very, very good job of it. But just like many of the people at that time, they were discovered. And she herself went through the Holocaust in the sense that she was put in a prison too. It is her depiction of life in that horrible condition. everything she faced, and how without God she would never have made it through. She made it through, and the reason she made it through was she put others above herself. And they came through, and so did she. Remarkable, remarkable history book. So if it's something that you're interested in, we'll definitely want to do a series. We want to hear from you. You know we always want to hear from you. Make some comments, throw out some books that I should be thinking about, and we're going to get back with you on this theme because, as many of you know, I love reading, and I've gotten into audiobooks lately, but I love just sitting down with a good book. So let's hear from you.